might strike you kind of odd. We have almost forgotten that we are in a great mortal combat.
A cloud of dust, 30 feet of missing guardrail.
The battle of the forces of good
Then a gas tank torn loose in the disabled car by the shock of collision.
and the forces of evil.
And ignites.
With a twinkle in his eye, he looked at me and scratched his head, and this was his reply. Son, what I'm going to say to you might strike you kind of odd.
But he's getting out. He's all right.
But this monstrous event is on the way. This is his hour. This monstrous event is on the way.
These jalopy jockeys are in for a jarring, jolting time, and they know it, and we know it. So hold on tight.
Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. Welcome back to another episode of the Dale Jr. Download. The NASCAR season is over. Sad face.
We all have sad faces on.
But happy face. Chase Elliott's on the show, the champion. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to recap the year, talk about what's going on in our lives. Let's get this show started now. So here in the studio, everybody's here except Matthew.
Matthew's not here.
Matthew is not here. Mike's here. Schultz is here. Leah. Yeah, so where is Matthew?
Matthew is out on a production right now. Can we say what production it is? I don't even know.
I don't think we can.
I don't think we can. Yeah. He's
Do
out
not
on
talk
a project.
about the project.
Right, the project.
But I know he has a metal detector because he took mine that I probably used twice in my life. I bought the thing, I think, out of the back of a catalog that's in the back seat of an airplane, you know, when you're flying.
Oh, like, what is it called? Air Mall or something like
Yeah.
that? Like, where it has like the fish
Yeah.
tank coffee table.
Anybody ever bought anything out of one of those? I bought a crossbow out of one of those.
I've never even known anybody that's bought something out of them.
Yeah.
And there's two things right there. That
Yeah.
was a big trip for you.
Yep, I bought those are some good magazines. They always have everything, all the fun toys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I bought this metal detector a long time ago. Funny story about that metal detector. I bought it. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what it's telling me. Because apparently, it tells you a little bit about the depth of where it thinks the object is and maybe what type of metal it is. And you're supposed to take that information and pretty much be able to understand exactly what's down there without even having to dig it up. If you watch the YouTube videos of these guys that are metal detecting.
The Devil Rays are going for their
like,
third win in a
I
row.
know that's a
Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper with Mike Kruko.
I know
And again, it looks like
dig
a
right up
great
through
evening for a ball game.
Well, it really does, Kai, but I'm anxious to get this one started.
And now, here's tonight's starting pitcher, Oliver Perez.
So I used it a couple times.
Welcome to this American League matchup featuring the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Boston Red Sox.
One day,
Here's the game's first batter, Carl Crawford.
Probably watching a YouTube video or something. And I got my buddy Sean, and me and Sean are walking around in my yard, right? And I'm thinking in my mind, man, I wonder what's in my yard. I bought this property, I'm on this land, and let's dig up some things and see if we see, find some history, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're walking around in my yard, and we found a couple things. We found like the band from an old
Line sharply, that's a base
from
hit.
a bucket, like a wooden bucket.
He's on his way to
metal
second.
band
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that would hold the
Kind of put it together.
Yes.
Double.
Yep.
We found a
You
few
gotta
little
cash in on leadoff
metal
double.
pieces
That's
and
just a
things
great
and,
scoring
and
opportunity.
old farm
This guy
type
has
stuff.
a great approach to hitting, and that makes him just a pretty
and
special
then-
hitter.
We get a spike. I'm like, there's something right
And a
here.
strike.
Get on down there and
He's
get it.
registered 9 wins and 5
He gets down
losses
there
this
and
season.
man, he's moving his hand around on top of the grass and grabs something.
Behind in the count,
And
0-2.
it was a
This
live,
team really needs a big hit from this
power.
guy right here to knock him out of run from second.
like a live, not a power line, but a live
And
wire.
when he pitches, he's gone.
Yeah.
Partner, he
Like
gets
a
ahead
hot-
of him
like
and
a hot
never looks back.
electrical
Sweet
wire. He
strikeout.
grabbed it, and
Here's an example
it
of
got
a
a
guy
hold
who
of him.
loves facing
He
left-handed pitchers.
was like,
There's
he
a low
jumped
strike
back
in the
right
zone.
and was like, "Ow!" Right, just jumps way up in the air.
And knowing that happened to
delivery.
Sean Brawley. No, people listening don't know Sean Brawley, but
It's a
let's just
great day to watch
think
some
about the
baseball.
people that will
Perfect weather.
not overreact, but dramatize everything in their life. Everybody knows that one person. Sean Brawley
A
is that
three-pitch
person.
strikeout.
So
it's a big deal no matter what it is.
the ignorance of what we did is pretty heavy. So when I bought this piece of property, there was this little kid playhouse.
This
the family
fella here
lived
is
in
not
before
what
and
you
had
would
kids,
call
and
a
they had this
batting
little
coach's
kid playhouse,
dream.
and they had ran power to it. I took that playhouse
Low strike
and sent
with
it
the
down to
changeup.
the old western town and put a big church facade on the front to make it a church with a steeple
Hit to
and
the
everything.
right side.
Wow, I'm learning a lot about the church down there at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
didn't
the
know
third
that.
Well,
out with
we
one
left
runner
that
stranded
wire
in scoring
laying
position.
right there on the ground. Wow. And it was still hot. After
So
all,
they got
years
one
later,
base hit, but couldn't do anything
never
with it.
pulled the fuse, flipped the breaker,
On the
turned
mound to
it
make
off
the
or
start
anything.
for the
and it's
visiting
sitting there
team,
all these
Victor
years,
Zambrano.
laying in that grass.
And here's
Somebody
a
to
look
walk
at the
up and grab
defense.
And boy, y'all
And
were
it
y'all were the
popped
lucky
Sean,
winners.
and I laughed. I laughed at Sean. So that I anticipate
Next
Matthew
at the
having
plate,
a moment.
Johnny Damon.
that metal detector is cursed.
Matthew and a metal
Fastball
detector.
for a
What could
strike.
possibly go wrong, right?
Pitched 112 innings
Live
this
wires
season,
out
and
there.
batters have had moderate success
By the
against
way,
him with an average of
what kind of
284.
privileged life did those kids
There's
have
a
to have
strike with the
electricity
slider.
running to their playhouse? I mean, am I wrong? What a nice life.
A three-pitch strikeout.
Anyhow, Matthew's not here. We went around in circles to tell you that. So let's get started talking about this season. The season's over. We got a champion in Chase Elliott. The most popular driver has won the title. It's rare that happens. Obviously, I'd never won a championship,
One
so
ball, no
I had that
strikes.
popular driver thing locked up for a long time, and
fastball.
kind of kept the champion from.
Zambrano gets a strike.
We don't want to spoil everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to get them used to it. Come on, make them work for it.
Last time that happened was 1988 when
Strike
Bill
right on the
Elliott was the
inside
champion.
corner.
His own dad was the last person to win both of those
They
awards.
check with the third base umpire.
And, Kevin Harvick said a few
The
things a
2-2
couple years ago. Mike,
delivery.
you're still pissed off about that.
Still
He
pissed.
goes
yeah.
with the
But he
pitch
said
and takes it down the
that
left
I
side.
stifled the growth of the
That's out
sport
number
because
two.
I was the most popular
Burrows
driver
really made
yet.
a nice
I wasn't
throw
a
right
champion,
there. That's a
wasn't
job
winning
well
championships or successful enough. And that if I had been more successful, the sport would have been better off.
Zambrano.
So here we
misses
are.
1-0.
We're living in that
This right-hander
reality
has
now
two
where
pitches he hasn't
the
accomplished
most
to throw in
popular
any
driver
count.
is the champion.
Out of the
And
zone. That's
while
a ball.
I think
Boy,
that
that
Kevin's
fastball just
argument
got in the zone. Tough pitch to hit.
is true
Batter didn't offer.
in terms of
Throws it over for a strike.
when the most popular driver wins a championship, it's great for the sport.
Yeah.
I don't think
Dirksen
that I
gets one
stifled
to
the growth
short.
of it, but
Kike, his quick reaction allowed him to make
he
the
was
play on that
he,
line
well, he
drive.
was mad
Nice
at me for
play.
something I'd said, so
Right.
he went after me.
Yeah.
But so what is paramount? What's most important? The health of the sport. Nothing against the other guys that were going for the title, but this is the best
He gets it over for a
result
strike.
that we could have
This
hoped
guy
for
is
if
a
you're
force.
thinking,
Every
man, I
time he
really want
goes
the
out
sport
there,
to be
you
healthy.
expect
I
him
want the
to give
sport to
7 or 8
succeed.
strong innings.
Perez
This is the
delivers
best outcome.
A strike. It's 0-2.
If you were talking about the long-term plans of the sport and the health, just like you said, yeah, Chase Elliott winning, everybody assumes that he's going to be most popular for years to come.
Yeah, and he won his championship before Jimmy won his
This guy
first.
isn't great against left-handed pitching,
that right?
but he does all right.
Look at there. What could be? What could we be
brewing?
looking at?
Perez
Yeah.
delivers a strike
So we
with
could
the
be.
slider.
I'm thinking,
Hey,
this
this
is a
guy
guy
here is
that
a
could
long
win
ball
4
threat
or
every
5.
time he steps in the batter's box.
I dare say 7. I mean, I don't know that anybody
There's
can
an
ever
out.
go, man, this is a guy that can win 7.
Figgins will
We
hit
don't
next.
ever think anybody's ever going to do that again.
Well, the
Someone will.
manager can rely on
I
this
don't know
guy
that you
to
can
give you
predict
a
that guy.
consistent at-bat
He's going to
game
need a lot of
after
breaks
game.
to fall his way.
Perez throws
But he
it
could
over
win
for a
4.
strike.
I would say 4
He's
would
logged
be the
140 innings this season, and batters have had
the
good
number
success against him with an average of 267.
that I would feel comfortable throwing out there for Chase, and that's a lot of championships.
Yeah, not
The
that we want to
delivery.
apply the pressure to you right now, Hoss. So,
A three-pitch
but
strikeout.
4 championships is what we
Heading into
expect
the
at
bottom
least.
of the
Well,
second. No score
he's
here.
certainly capable of that, having won this first one so soon.
Berkman comes
So
to
that's
the
a very
plate.
popular
This
championship.
guy is a steady hitter.
And let's talk about the other guys. I thought that I had picked Logano to win the title. I thought thought that he had the mental toughness. I feel like that when you get down to that final race, everybody brings their good stuff. Everybody's going to be fast, and they were. Look at, I mean, they're all four running. They're all four claimed the top 4 positions throughout most of the whole race, right? Nobody else was up there battling amongst them.
It's amazing how that.
It is amazing. We'll talk about that in a second, but I thought Joey was going to win it, and once they get to that final race, and they're all running together in the top 4 positions,
That was a purpose.
I feel like the
trying to get the batter to
straw or the last bit of weakness that a driver might have is the mental side, right? And this is when the pressure is really on. Trying to, when you get in the car, you psych yourself out, you psych yourself up. Are you already beaten before the race begins?
Oh, it's too bad he
and we had never seen Chase in this situation, so we couldn't really evaluate it. Well, we've seen them in the training series, and sure, yeah, but this is a whole nother beast, right?
Good pitch, but
so
call the ball.
He passed the test, obviously, by flying colors, but I couldn't evaluate Chase and understand exactly just how mentally tough he was to handle the toughest,
right on the edge of the zone.
probably most difficult thing mentally that he had ever had
I like
to
to see a
face
hit and run in a
race car.
situation like this.
Well,
the pitcher's
I
behind
thought
the
Joey
count, so
had
he
it.
has to come over, and a pitch out is
Brad's
unlikely,
going to stand
so why
in
not
there
hit
and
run?
take the hits. Brad's going to put up a good account of himself, but I think I personally feel like Brad overanalyzes a lot of situations and makes more problems for himself, and it makes things probably harder than they have to be. And well, he also ran really good. He could have easily won the championship. Had a few issues on pit road.
Yeah, pit crews was his biggest downfall.
They had some issues there. And Denny Hamlin, I think I was open to the idea that Denny was going to come in there and be the Denny that we've seen all year. But he was the Denny that we've been seeing in the last couple
great
months.
opportunity for a cheap
And
run
it
sack
didn't
fly.
materialize for him. They didn't have the speed in the car. The balance. He talked about it. He said, the balance might not have been perfect, but I just felt like we didn't have just the speed. We just didn't have the car.
And he puts it away for the out.
And
as a company, by the way, he was
right.
talking about
He
his racing.
Yeah, he was thinking about like where his teammates ran versus him. It just none of it looked terrible either. And
Zambrano
that's
fastball out of the zone.
that's frustrating. That this is a sport where things ebb and flow, and teams. If you watch, man, teams move to the top, then other teams come and claim that position, and throughout the year, you like, oh, this team's dominating. They're the favorites. And then they'll sink, and someone rises.
Looks to me like he pitched around.
And
Unintentional, intentional walk.
look back at the beginning of the year when the season started. The Chevrolets had everybody surprised. They brought this new car. They were very fast. They were almost winning every race. Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, all those guys were doing really good things, having great years. And then they sort of fell off the map. Right midway through the year, it's like they put all their tricks on the table or on the shelf, or the rest of the series got better. Then the 11-4 Harvick, they go on a tear. They win a bunch of races. All this happened in the same season. You forget about it.
It was like 5 seasons all crammed into one.
Yeah. I mean, Chase was really fast.
That'll do it for the inning.
Almost won Darlington when they came back.
Right.
Then they kind of disappeared. But, man, they figured it back out. Right? When it comes time to show back up and
the Red Sox lead
elimination
by 1
mode,
run.
You got to win. They pulled all the tricks off the shelf and put them back on the car, right?
I would love to see what Chase Elliott's odds were when the playoffs started. When you had the full gamut of it. Nobody really would probably pick Chase.
Remember when we had Chad Knaus on here, and he was telling us how they had all this stuff scienced out and all these little pieces, and they would use one trick until NASCAR wrote a rule around it. And then they would have 10 more tricks on the shelf. And they would put that next trick out there until NASCAR could write a rule around it. And then they're like, well, we got 8 more tricks, buddy.
Yeah.
We keep them coming.
Blew my mind that he said that.
Yeah, and some teams have that shelf full of tricks. And this is worth
nobody on.
This is worth 2 tenths. This is going to help us in front downforce. This is going to help us in rear downforce. All the teams mostly all the teams have some of those things on the shelf. Some teams do not. You know, maybe by the end of the year, the Gibbs guys, their shelf was empty.
No balls, 2 strikes.
It was almost as if, and this is probably not true, but it's almost as if the 9-team unintentionally or intentionally built a shelf full of tricks.
Sometimes you try to make the hitter chase your pitch. That's exactly what you saw right there.
Set up stuff, whatever you want to call it, throughout the first half of the year, and said, you know what, let's put all that back
for the playoffs.
Let's not get it taken away.
Maybe after he won his first race for sure. When he was in the play, you know, when you let yourself forward, you don't go into the change it.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing to do. When you do get yourself sort of locked in to the playoffs and you know your fate of going, you know your positive fate of going into the championship, you know, the playoffs to battle for the championship. Your team or your crew chief, or most often, they do kind of dial it back, get a little more conservative, less aggressive on getting through tech and some of the things that they some of the holes in the rule book, right? But anyhow, when it came time to go to the shelf for Chase Elliott at Martinsville and this past weekend in Phoenix,
right? They didn't even pass.
They threw all that stuff on the race car,
right? It sent him to the back too.
Yeah,
I mean, like
one of those things.
One of them did. Yeah, the one they wanted NASCAR to see.
That is another. That's true. So I've always felt like that when we would go to Daytona or Talladega, right? I mean, with Tony Jr. and those guys, we had the body, for example, is just one part of it. Then you got the chassis and things you do with the rear suspension, and there's so many things that are just borderline, right? That if NASCAR really looked at, they might go, you know what? It ain't illegal, but we don't like it. Right. So we're going to take it from you, and you're going to put something
like this. Let's
normal,
see if they can knock in that runner from third.
Whether it's a screw jack or a bolt or something with a trailing arm they don't like. But then, you know, they obviously look at the body, and it's out there for everyone to see. And they might go, you know what, that C-post, grind on that, sand on that, or you know, so what we would typically, what I always liked to do was to make something super glaring, like in your face, that I was okay with them taking away. So that would draw their attention away from anything else or other things on the car. Right?
Like a little blinking red light that says nitrous or something in it.
So you're pushing the car up for tech, right? You're going into the body panels and the body temps and all that, templates and all that stuff, and you've got this one thing, and they're like, oh, no, we can't let you have this. You gotta. They're talking to you like workers here. You can't have this. This is obviously very aggressive what you've done here to this splitter or this front fender or whatever. Like, oh man, come on!
You go through the motion.
Right, you do the dance.
That's crazy.
And we start sanding on it. And you're like, man, I can't go too far here. You're killing me. Right. And you're like, you just keep hollering and hooting over this one little area, and they're never looking anywhere else on the car.
Some Jedi mind tricks going on in the NASCAR tech line.
And you were willing to give that away or give it up or give it back to them from the get-go when you loaded the car in the trailer. It's so fun, I think, what the sort of chess match is amongst the engineers and the crew chiefs. It's all going on and preparing the car and getting the car through tech and getting the car on the start grid with all the bells and whistles that they want.
There was no doubt.
There's a lot more to it than what you just the driver fires up and runs the laps and the race.
So your theory is that, you know, being the fact that Chase won 3 of the last 5 races, is that what he won obviously Martinsville and Phoenix, won Charlotte, right? That they held their good stuff to the playoffs.
And not that it's illegal. I'm not saying we're not saying that anything on the
quote a wise man, I'm not directly calling you a cheater.
No. This is another. What I think they're not even shelving some of that stuff. It ain't even NASCAR or the officials that they're worried about.
Oh, really?
It's the rest of the drive.
Very tough line drive.
Right. Okay, I get it.
When I would go into the
right field, they may not
competition
want to run. Right fielder's got a cannon for an arm.
My favorite part of the meeting was at the end. This is post-race, getting together on a Tuesday or something. My favorite part of the meeting was being able to see what, if any, pictures we had of the competition as they push their cars through tech or their cars are going out on the racetrack, there's photographers everywhere taking pictures for everybody.
3-1.
And if we got a question or concern about maybe something somebody's doing, a photographer may take extra pictures of that particular area of the car.
Pass with 1 out.
And we, can get these best pictures and go home and stare at it all the time. Obviously, in real time, in reality, you can't walk up to the car in the garage and just look at it, right? For 15 minutes.
Certainly not cryptically, right?
Right.
Out of the zone, that's a ball.
My favorite part of these meetings was when there might be some great photos to look at. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm sitting out at that table with all those crew chiefs and engineers waiting on them to tell me what I'm looking at. What do y'all see? I just see a picture of a car and what do y'all? What's so? And they're like, well, look at this.
They got the wrong color wheelbase. I mean, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah. Side skirt's not painted. And they're like, well, look at how they got this little trip lip right here. I mean, holy smokes! I would have never noticed that. You guys, they're so smart, right? And so the garage is sort of like trying to, smoke screen itself. And yeah, you're not really worried about NASCAR taking away something as much as you are just your opponents figuring it out. And what happens when they figure that out first? I want to say this: not only do they pop the they see, that's cool. I add that to my car. Now they take it home and they engineer it into something better.
Yeah,
that was how Brad Keselowski, in my opinion, beat us in the championship in 2012.
7 losses on the
season. We had tricked out our rear suspensions and we had a rear sway bar on the back of the car that when the car would travel, it would twist the rear end housing into skewing the car, right? So we could, you remember how you see the cars running sideways down the straightaway?
Crab.
Crazy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well, NASCAR started doing a lot of things with rules under the cars to keep that from happening. We had, we had little bushes on the left side of the trailing arm that would move, but you had to have something to hold it in that position. So we fixed the rear sway bar. Wasn't working as it intended to work. It was actually just a big pry bar that would pry the rear end back on the left side and hold it in position when the car would travel, right? Rolling through tech where it heights.
Sometimes you try to make the hitter chase your
we got to clear heights in right about 4 inches or whatever. So when we go out on the track and we run around, the car settles down, right? When it would travel those 2-3 inches, it would that rear sway bar would pry that rear end housing back on the left side, and or pry it forward. I'm sorry. It would pry it forward and skew the housing and skew the car, and then now you're hauling tail, right? It was worth about 2-3 tenths,
which is huge. Yeah,
huge.
God Almighty, you have them covered with that.
Yeah, and we really did. We had a lot of speed that year with that, and Brad and his team went to work. They might not have seen exactly how we did it, but after a handful of weeks, they had an idea of what we were doing and went home and made it even better. And
it's hit out to left.
Do you know what they did to this point?
Not a clue. But I just know that they didn't have what we had, and when it came time to win the championship at the end of the year, they had taken that idea, that principle, and even made it even better.
This is fascinating because it's no different than when a football team runs a trick play. Once you run it, it's on the game film.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world can now go look at it. They can get better, or they know how to defend it for sure.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. You're saying is that don't go show your trick plays because it's illegal. It may not be illegal, right? You can run that punter sweep all you want. You know it's only going to work once because then everybody else is going to be ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about the season in general. I, for one, have always been super hard on NASCAR. Where we race, what the cars look like, what the rules are, what the schedule is, what times the race start.
Yeah. How much the track is aged.
How bad the cell service is at the track. I mean, if it ain't working, if it's wrong, if it's not convenient, that's really
after 3.5.
I'm joking, but
no, you're not. You're actually being very honest.
Super hard. But and I'm not gonna. Steve Phelps is a great guy, good leader, right? I'm not going to say I don't want to put it. I don't want to say, well, Steve Phelps got in charge, and now look at that. We're in direction. Not that. I really got along well with a lot of the leaders that we've had in our industry over the years.
He just keeps plowing away.
Steve Phelps was just the guy when all this went down. He happened to be the guy in charge, but he handled it really well. When we were put in a tough position with this pandemic and everything got shut down, I mean, everybody remembers when teams were at Atlanta, all the trailers had just pulled into the racetrack and they're getting phone calls to turn around and go home. We're not going to race.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And not since 9/11, when they moved New Hampshire to the end of the season, had anything really felt like this.
A nice pitch there to get the fly ball. Nice
I mean, for us, the industry, not race, not happen. It has to be something pretty profound. So I think we were all really scared about what this meant long term.
And to really appreciate that, you have to remove all that you know or we know about the virus now and go back to April or March and realize that we knew nothing of what's to come. It was complete anxiety and uncertainty, and at that point, I just think to appreciate what NASCAR ultimately did and Steve Phelps did, you have to remember the uncertainty and the anxiety that went along with it. And we just seem to know, and we've lived with this virus now at this point. So like we go into a lot of competition.
Pitches up in the zone.
You didn't know if we were going to race again, for the rest of the year, right? Maybe even 2 years. Who knew what to expect? Who knew what to expect? You really think about that. That was like the uncertainty. Are we going to go through layoffs? Are we going to even keep our jobs? What's going to happen? I mean, like race teams, we're going to turn the lights out? What are we going to do? That's how much uncertainty there was. That's what Steve Phelps had to,
good situation to go on here.
And O'Donnell and a bunch of
O'Donnell,
yeah.
for sure.
It ain't. I don't know, man. I'm just so thankful. I'm so sort of taken aback. Really, is the best way to describe it for me. I am really taken aback.
Catcher right there, that thing had some mustard on it. It was
I would have not been so confident NASCAR could have pulled this off. And when you remember the schedule was coming out and it was different and they were having to move it and adjust it, and you couldn't go to all the tracks. A lot of the states weren't going to allow us to be able to race, and
not really a surprise here.
They had to take certain tracks off the schedule. And really, I mean, I don't know how they did it. I do not know how they sat in the room and they had to have so many officials on the line and get commitments from different people and lock down something that was going to work.
That's
I don't know how they did it.
They didn't even know it was going to work. I mean, remember when we had Phelps on our show and it was on Zoom? We were all at our homes. Phelps comes off as a very confident and a good leader. But I will say there certainly was trepidation. There certainly was uncertainty with his voice, and that did come across to me when we had him on the show. You knew that this could go extremely well or terribly wrong. Terrible. And in you think about the terrible situations, there were more of those than you felt like than there were of the extremely well at the time, right?
Yeah. So there you go. Right, we want to give NASCAR a lot of credit. The other thing you got to give a lot of credit to are the protocols put in place for the screening, which I personally experienced, and the individuals that were tasked to screen everyone did an amazing job all year long. And the industry, the teams, drivers, over-the-wall guys, everybody that's got when they go home, they got their own life, they got their own personal way of handling this situation. Some more casually than others, some stricter than others, whatever they believe to be true and right.
Third out, we go to the
everybody
bottom of the inning.
Walked the line, and everybody came back to work for the most part.
Going
we had
into
a
the
few
bottom
cases
of the fifth,
in the
the
industry,
score
but
is 4-1.
nothing that shut us down or got in the way or brought us to a grinding halt.
Coming up this half inning.
And so I think as you compliment NASCAR, you also have to compliment the industry, all the people that show up to put the race on, and the teams are included in that.
Hit to the right side.
We didn't have a group of people make a mistake.
Base hit to lead off the inning.
We didn't have a driver in the playoffs eliminated because of COVID. I was just, and honestly, I feel like that we are fortunate that we are wrapping our season because it seems like things are getting a little bit. Things are picking back up a little bit. Some of those sports are having cases and so forth.
Hey, listen, I was hit with that same overwhelming sense of gratitude, and it was when that race started. When the Cup race on Sunday started, it was like, holy crap, we actually made it. We didn't miss the race. That was impossible just a few months ago. And I was hit with that same thing. I also was hit with the fact that if it wasn't for NASCAR, I'll be the one to say it.
And here comes the
if NASCAR would have come out and then had an outbreak right off the jump, we're not watching football right now. We're not watching an NBA championship. We're not watching. None of those others would have gone forward with their season. If NASCAR would have had an outbreak or a situation goes south, and it was always possible, we would not have had the rest of sports. And also, NASCAR would have gone backwards 20 years because those dumb rednecks went out there and did what everybody was telling them not to do, and we would have had to deal with that whole brand again, that whole branding. So, I was hit with all that as soon as that race started.
It's a hitter's count. 3-0.
Everybody, let's take a quick break and tell everybody the important part.
That's exactly what you saw right there.
Ring.
3 balls,
Ring is that
1
partner,
strike.
Mike. They're on a mission to make neighborhoods safer. Their home security products are designed to give you peace of mind around the clock. Me and you are on the ring too.
Yeah, we are. I mean, like just as we were starting the show last week, I go, I can't go yet. I just got a ring alert.
When we do these ring ads, me and Mike, man, we're in the zone. Because we're ring customers. From video doorbells and security cameras to smart security lighting and alarm systems, Ring has everything you need to make sure your family and belongings are safe and secure anytime, anywhere. And with the Ring Video Doorbell 3, you can keep an even closer eye on things than ever before.
And a strike.
Mike,
Changeup.
Hey, partner, if the pitcher can keep the
what
ball low in
I
the
got
zone,
the Ring
he might be able to
Doorbell,
reduce a ground ball to start
Video
two.
Doorbell 3.
Well, yeah, no, but you got the camera too. I got the same camera you got, whatever that's called. But what I got,
I actually just got an alert just as we were doing this ad.
What did it say?
Someone is at the camera on the side of my house, and I look, and it's the pool guy.
All right.
It's just
out of the truck.
I'm going to read you the text I got.
Breeze. Setup is a breeze. No wires. You can do it. Plug. Get into your Wi-Fi. Tap into your Wi-Fi. You screw it into something. Just mount the camera to where you're going to mount it.
A pickup truck was stolen out of its lot 2.5 miles from your house.
He's batting
You got an alert?
.258. No long balls and 3 RBI.
Yeah, because
that's real fun to start a show when you get an alert like that.
Takes the walk.
Not only does the cameras, obviously send you alerts about things happening on those cameras at your house. There's also a bit of a neighborhood component to being a Ring customer, where they tell you about things maybe that's happening in your community to keep you aware, or so you'll be on the lookout. Video doorbells let you answer the door and check in on your home anytime. Basically, keep an eye on your doorstep. You can speak to a delivery person when you maybe can't come to the door. With outdoor security cameras, you can check in on every part of your house, never missing a moment. Smart lighting brightens up some blind spots, dark areas, and make sure you always come home to a lit house. Lit.
He goes the other way.
Full home security systems. The whole system gives you everything you need, all you need to protect your family, pets, and partner. Get a special offer on the Ring Welcome Kit when you go to ring.com/DaleJr. The Welcome Kit includes the Ring Video Doorbell 3 and Chime Pro. I don't have the Chime Pro yet.
What's holding you back?
It's all you need to start building custom security for your home today. Just go to ring.com/DaleJr. That's ring.com/DaleJr.
The runner at first is
so, a lot of things came out of this season, and they're things that
that's what happens when you let a base
would have never happened.
That was no contest, easy bat.
And it blows my mind because as all these years, I've had these ideas that I think we should be doing this and we should be doing that.
Second base.
And you can't get anybody to listen to you, right? Trying to get this
first with a base
sport to try anything new is really tough.
Yeah.
I say that, but we've tried a lot of new stuff over the years, but it's always been, NASCAR's idea, double file restarts, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But more short tracks. Can't get one, right?
The count's 1-0.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that it took the pandemic for us to be forced into less practice, shorter race weekends, one-day shows, and it's been from what I could tell, it's been a very positive thing. I don't think anybody has missed practice. I don't think anybody's missed qualifying.
It's overrated.
And the run scores.
Now, my traditional sort of self hates
That's
it.
an RBI double.
I don't practice and qualifying. We've always
That's
had
a
like
nice
these
at bat right there. He gets that run home and he ended up in scoring position himself.
But honestly, it's been a big money saver for the teams, and for years, for decades, the sport's tried to find ways to cut costs. Right? Isn't that funny? Just can't find a way.
No, yeah. No. We're already at the bottom. This is
running as high as ship as we can run.
That's it. Yeah. Can't go any lower.
Pandemic comes in and says, "Watch this."
Yeah. Right. Hold my beer.
And now we've cut a lot of costs. I think that it's good that it's going to be something that we maintain going forward. There will be some races. I think there's 7 race weekends where there's going to be a little practice. But and I don't see that kind of growing as the years go by. It's just that we got so many new tracks on the schedule next year and some things where practice is a necessity. But
let me give you one more silver lining that the pandemic gave us. The pandemic gave us this almost like this Ebenezer Scrooge experience where we were able to kind of go into the future or go into the past and look what it's like to race without fans. All right? Now, to be clear, empty grandstands can happen with or without a pandemic. You just do the wrong things as a sport and as an industry and go, you're going to find yourself racing without any fans, you lose popularity. We took NASCAR's boom in the 90s and early 2000s, we took it for granted for sure. So my point is that we got to experience, because of a pandemic, what it's like to race without fans. And you know what? It didn't look good and it didn't feel good. And my hope is that because of this, whenever we do come out of this pandemic, is that the drivers, especially since we got so many new young drivers, they have a new appreciation for what it means to have those grandstands full and have the support of the fan base. Because NASCAR prides itself on the accessibility to the drivers, right? This is what NASCAR sort of boasts. But I got to be honest, when I'd go to those NHRA events, I was like, they got us covered in accessibility. And when even IndyCar, when we would have people go to the Indy 500 and cover, they're like, these drivers, way more accessible to the media than some of the cups. We got into a rut. We started developing some bad habits because NASCAR was very successful. You got these young drivers in and think, hey, I made it to Cup. Where's my motorhome? Where's my jet? I've got all this earned. No, you got to work every day for fans. You got to earn the support. And I hope that the feeling of having to race without an empty grandstands, now whenever we come out of this, we were able to get, 20,000, 30,000 fans.
He gets ahead of them and never looks back.
Man, it felt so good just to have them there, right? Get back to having full grandstands. I think that it's a changed experience. Like I said, the Ebenezer Scrooge experience. I think hopefully as an industry we've had a master reset in our thinking, maybe recalibration on our appreciation for the fan base, right?
The drivers having to get out of the car after a win for nobody is a rude awakening, and they missed it. That you would hear them talk about it. They're like, man, that's weird. I don't like it. I don't care if it's 10 people for that.
With 3 innings left to play,
happy
the
about
score is 6-2.
So I think, that's a good point, Mike.
And NASCAR posted a tribute video to the fans yesterday that kind of told that whole story, and it was like the first race without fans, and I think it was Harvick that got out of the car, and he said, "This is
liner
weird."
right at the shortstop.
You got a few people back, and they get out of the car, and you
He's
get
on
just a
first
little
with
bit
a
of
base
cheering.
hit.
It just made it such a huge difference.
Almost made a great dive. He played
Yeah,
it.
so
He just
we're
was not
excited.
quite close enough.
Hopefully, you know, it's going to be a
Up next
long
with a
time
double
before
today,
Daytona, and a lot
Sean
can happen. But
Burrows.
hopefully, by the time we get back next year, things are continuing to improve, and the opportunity for fans to come to the racetrack is there, and they feel comfortable enough to come. You know,
Right.
we can give them a great experience, a safe experience. So, I was talking. I was thinking the other day. I was like,
and that one's foul.
you know, I used to get done with the season, and I couldn't wait for it to be done because I had all this. Oh man, finally, have some time to myself. Gonna have a weekend off with
It's
my
hit
buddies
to the left
and get drunk.
side.
And
Crossing around the board, 5-4-3 double
and
play.
somebody be like, 99 days
That
to
pitcher
Daytona.
really needed that
And I'm like,
defense.
no,
Yeah.
don't start that now.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
no, let's wait till January to start counting.
Right.
At bat with a
98
double,
days
Carl
to Daytona.
Crawford. Left-handed pitchers don't pose
I don't know
much
how
of
many
a
days
problem
it
to
is.
this hitter.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
though, your point's well made.
Drive me
It's like,
crazy.
you know, your last day of school, you're like, you know, 90 days till school starts back up. Like, who does that? Nobody.
Well, now I get it.
Yeah.
It's hit out
Yeah.
towards short.
I can't wait for the Daytona 500.
You had me a little
And with
concerned.
that,
I didn't
the
know what
side
to
is
make of your
retired.
social media activity this weekend. I'm
Rogers
looking at
timed
one
out for
picture
the
where you got the
seventh
hotel
inning
room and you had the
stretch.
song.
Didn't you sing recently?
Darkness, my old
I
friend.
sure did.
And I'm
When I
like,
was in the league, I could
we didn't
pitch
check
in
on
front of
homeboy over there. Like, what's going on with him?
Backyard,
And
singing
then,
the
he's
Take
like,
Me
now
Out
he's
to the Ball game at Wrigley.
feeling
I was
you know,
scared to
remorse for the
death.
season being over. I'm like, who is that guy, right? You know, but I got the second one. I was a little worried about you with the hotel room thing, but
My buddy Tim Duggar, musician in Nashville, when he takes a flight to commercial flight somewhere, he takes a picture of the Nashville
just off the plate, 1-0.
the floor, the carpet. And it's the same. So,
That's funny.
And with that
Takes
song,
a tailing
because him,
fastball.
that walk to his terminal is a very depressing experience.
hey, I want to ask you
I was
guys.
mocking. I was mimicking him.
So if you remove the obvious pandemic and all that, the NASCAR thing, give me a memorable moment from the season. That, like when you look back on 2020, I'm even going to say remove Chase Elliott.
He
from winning
makes
the
the
championship.
catch.
That's also obvious.
He just put his glove up.
What are other
South,
things,
caught
or maybe
the
what is the
ball.
other thing that you'll think
Happy
about on 2020 that it represented, that it had something happen? It feels like you got to go back 5 years because it feels like a 5-year season all
No
crammed
one
into
on
one.
and one out.
But Newman getting hurt at Daytona
Takes
feels like an
just
eternity
off
ago.
the plate, 1-0.
That's what I was going to say.
That was this year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Newman's wreck and then getting out of the hospital
Takes
2 days
slow.
later.
Right.
That feels like it was a lifetime ago.
Yes, right. That was one. I think for me, Bubba Wallace's Talladega weekend, or you know, the industry's Talladega weekend, sticks out to me. I will always remember this year. And then you kind of hit on a couple other things that are probably just smaller scale, but still, like we had an incredible rookie
That's the
class.
pitcher's third walk of the
We had
game.
Cole Custer winning his first race. Tyler Reddick kind of established his
He's
footing.
looking for his second hit of the day.
You know, I thought that there were some really kind of cool little moments within the year that 2020 did give us.
Mahomes watches
Yeah, we
ball
had
one.
fans right in. Chase's middle finger.
He delivers.
Chase's
Yeah.
middle finger.
Chase's middle finger. That one stuck out to me. And then
That's when I knew he was going to be a champion.
And then Graham Hill, the
pitch is
iRacing
hit to
tribute
left
to
field.
the flagman on our first race back.
Oh,
Remember
perfect.
at Barn? Yep.
Puts it away.
That was a good one. And then another iRacing one was just racing at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, forget about that. Like the Pro Series.
You won't see this
We had
back
the
again. The lights out.
iRacing lanes, the drivers, everybody collaborated on this great experience where we brought sort of esports and sim racing to the
Swing
surface.
and a miss. Went too soon.
And
The
my
pitcher
gosh,
flat
what
out
a
challenged
caught
him. He
lightning in a
couldn't
bottle
touch that diving
for
split.
iRacing. So that was exciting. All this
Hit
happened
towards first
in the
base.
year.
Right.
He
You
fluffs
even
the
ran an
catch.
IndyCar race. Who saw that coming? Did y'all have any other moments?
It's hit out to right.
Is that
Drew Owen said
Puts
that
it away
the race
for
in
the
the
out.
pouring rain was the best race of the year. That
Roval.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Roval. John
After
said, I think it's
seventh,
a tie
the
between
score
Harrison
is
and Burt
6-2.
winning Texas and Sheldon Creed and Phoenix. two amazing.
Stepping in 2 for 3, Aubrey.
Okay, but that just reminded me of things I wanted to ask him as well. Like, do we want to even bring up the Xfinity Series race?
The Red Sox
I have it
over to the pen.
Okay,
here's the
we'll
new
save
pitcher,
it. We'll save
Scott
it.
Williamson.
That reminds me of Noah, right hook and Harrison at Kentucky. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I was entertained.
Yeah.
I love Harrison, and me and Jeff are great friends. But man, and when I see that, I think, gosh, it's just a few inches this way, and it would have been such a great shot. Not that I want him to hit Harrison, but when's the last time somebody landed
That's
a
in
really,
foul ground,
really
but he
clean
should have
shot?
room.
It's been a while.
In foul territory.
Hey,
makes the catch.
put that out there. We asked that and asked Junior. We'll probably get a good answer.
Because he kind of just basically put him in a big old headlock.
No balls in
You know what it
strike.
might have been? Not that there's any video of this, but it might have been Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace, which is
And
a
another
coincidence,
strike to
is
make
it
it
not?
0-2.
Because what else did
That was a
2020 give
perfect
us?
pitch, partner. Right
You know,
on the edge,
the
strikes on
unlikely
the
pairing
batter,
of
swung
Bubba
right
and
through.
Denny and Michael Jordan.
A 3-pitch strikeout.
Yeah, that was the other one.
Okay, this dude did not bring his A game
piece
in.
of
In
news
fairness,
this year.
it can't be on all
Lisa,
the
the
time.
Hall of Fame announcement.
Oh, yeah, you got,
Yeah.
that was that.
You remember that?
I don't remember that. Is that
Hit
this
to the
year?
left
That
side.
One of the Hall of Fame.
Good grief.
It's a 1-2-3.
Thank you, Lisa.
Going into the bottom of the 8th.
Man.
The Red Sox
We,
lead by 4.
I think obviously Jimmy retiring, was a big deal. We gotta appreciate everything he's done in the sport. I don't feel like that we
Change
really
misses
appreciated
downstairs.
Jimmy as much as
That
we
was a
should
perfect
have.
pitch.
While
Change
he was
up off the
racing,
plate,
while he
hoping
was
the batter
winning.
would go
He was
chase.
part of the Hendrick crowd, the polished tucked-in shirts, button-up collars, starchy. He did not get his due.
Better had no choice
in my
right there.
opinion.
Take it.
Yeah,
and
but
it's a strike.
I wonder
What a
that. But
sweet
what
pitch.
does one have to get
I would
to
say
get his
this.
due?
Well, like
Ask
Senna.
the third base umpire
Aaron
if he
Senna?
swung.
He was a god. Like people, like he was beyond human.
Oh,
It's a full count.
To people
That pitcher
who
and catcher have a strategy in
worship
mind. So far, the batters are
this
taking
man
it.
because of his talent.
Into the right side.
They worship him because he was, beyond human when he was in the car and just done amazing things. Right, same thing with Schumacher.
He delivers.
Adam Petty. I mean, how did people feel about them two?
Lowell
Right?
takes one
They
inside.
named Richard Petty.
That was a
Like,
perfect
dude,
pitch. A changeup off the plate. Hoping the
that's
batter
not
would
just
go
a
chase.
nickname you just toss around.
Fastball
well,
misses
the nickname is
upstairs.
maybe important in the
Sometimes you
legacy
try to make a hit or chase your
conversation
pitch.
because
Exactly
you
what
had
you
the
saw
king
right
and you
there.
had the intimidator, but Jimmy never got strapped with a kick-ass name. Did
He
he?
didn't get his due.
That's interesting. yeah.
And I feel I don't feel sad for Jimmy. I just feel
He turns on one and hits a sharp
disappointed
liner.
that we didn't sort of enjoy that
Stepping
while I
up
was
to
here
the
because
plate with a
I
single
feel like the
already,
further
Jason
removed we will be
Varitek.
from Jimmy's career, the more we're going to miss him, and the more we're going to go, dang, man, that was we didn't know what we had.
Well,
Takes
Chad
the
Knaus
pitch
made
just
that
off
point
the
pretty
plate.
clear last week when he was
Looked like
talking
the
about
pitcher and catcher
Jimmy,
have
we
a
need a
strategy in
tenth.
mind, but so far
Jimmy,
the
we need
batters
two
are taking
tenths,
these pitches.
and he's never seen anything like it where he could go get it. He'd go get it. Nothing's changed on the car. He'll go get it. I mean, like,
And
who
a
can do
strike.
that?
Before Jimmy won 5 championships in a row, Cale Yarborough had won 3 titles in a row in the late 70s. Most everybody in the
1,
industry,
2, 3, and the inning
regardless
is
of the
over.
format, whether you're running under the original championship format or the new chase, playoffs, elimination, all those things,
With 1 inning
nobody
left to
ever
play, the Red Sox lead
even
by
considered
4.
to think that somebody might tie or break that 3-in-a-row record by Cale Yarborough.
This is a guy who
Not only
just
did Jimmy
knows how
tie
to hit.
Jimmy would go on to win 5 championships in a row.
This is it. They're going to have to create
And
some
that just
offense in a
happened a
hurry.
decade ago. Imagine,
The Red Sox
can you
call for a
imagine?
reliever.
Can you,
They're going
what
to
do,
the pen.
What do you give Chase Elliott in odds to go win 5 straight?
Look, no,
None.
small, yeah.
That's what Jimmy did.
0-1 the count.
Amazing. It's
It doesn't register. I know you guys
He delivers.
are understanding it, but it doesn't register with people how unreal
He fouled it off
that
to the
is.
left.
Well, yeah, it's impossible to know the enormity of the mountain if you haven't climbed it yourself or you haven't experienced something like that. That's why it's so hard to relate to what that type of accomplishment even is.
And the rules changed year to year on how to get to the title, how they added up the numbers, how you won the championship. Jimmy won it under multiple formats. And, you know, so I think he could take even more pride in that. No matter how they stacked the pins at the end of the alley, he knocked them all down year after year. And did something that none of us, again, not only did he do the 5 in a row, but he tied Dad and Richard Petty to win 7. That was another thing that everybody thought was completely safe.
That was a
no one was ever going to join Dad. Those were 2 guys that were going to be on that mountain by themselves forever. And
he's on
Jimmy
first with a base hit
and did it. And
he throws it the fastball,
so
the batter was ready for it. And
the fact that he is squeaky clean, not an ounce of controversy, not one mistake, not one off-track incident,
0-1 count.
no arrests or DUIs or ignorance. Not a
right
not
after
one
first baseman.
piece of film or audio of him being disrespectful to the media, to a fan.
Hey, Kai, good work there to get
There's
the runner
nothing.
to score position.
He had the audacity to be a good person. Go think. It's. I mean, yeah. Also, almost an impossibility when you think of today's climate and you know.
And Jeff Burton or somebody was on the broadcast said, it might have been Tart, I don't know, but they're like the same guy that I met the first time I ever met him.
They're making a pitching change.
Before he
Manager goes with the righty.
He's the same guy that I know today. He's the exact same guy. And if you can imagine how incredible that is, that you take anybody, pick anybody you want to pick that you know, set them down, and start pouring money into their pocket. Year after year after year. Start stacking all these awesome trophies around.
And that evens the count.
All the attention. All the access that a celebrity or
that one's foul, but it looks like
professional
there's
athlete
some
would
room.
have. Start giving that to them and see it change that person.
It will change that person.
Absolutely, it will change.
I mean, listen, it happens to the best of them. How did it not happen to Jimmy? Yeah. He had the audacity to be a great person.
Never caught up. Good strikeout.
Something about that. Yeah. Now, did you guys, I wonder if history will look back at this past weekend at Phoenix and look at it as the way we do sort of Atlanta 1992, where there was the changing of the guard. You know, only time will tell because, you know, again, we don't want to go pin pressure on Chase and say.
How about the
no balls, one strike.
No, that was the point.
But how eerie is it that it's so similar?
Didn't get good wood on that one.
You know, Richard Petty.
This one is over.
Obviously, Jeff Gordon won't win his first championship, but it was his first race in the Cup Series.
Perez picks up the win. Zambrano is saddled with the loss.
Also,
the final score:
the
Boston
same
6, the Devil Rays 2.
The same Major League Baseball team and the same.
Lakers and
the
Dodgers.
Lakers and the Dodgers won the title.
That was 88, actually. That was the correlation there.
Yeah, the Dodgers and the Lakers won the title the same year that Bill won the championship.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, wow.
I didn't even realize that.
There's some weird.
That is.
The other thing, too, was the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, and the Cup Series drivers all won the same race. So it might have been the Daytona Road Course race.
So Shelton Creed.
Oh, yes. The Daytona Road Course winners also won the championship. Cindric, Creed, Chase.
Creed. By the way, Creed's race at the end of that daggum thing on Friday night was ridiculous.
I was screaming at the TV.
I mean, look,
Do y'all believe, like, I never used to believe in weird stuff like that, numerals and astrology or circle. I think there's just so much going on now. It's harder for me to chalk it up to just luck or
You think there's something to it?
I don't know.
Think it's something in the
universe aligned.
Something in the stars.
Something in the stars.
See, yeah, I don't know.
I never believed in any of that stuff, but I'm starting to wonder, like, because there's a lot of anomalies and just too many occurrences.
Well, I put it this way: whether these crew chiefs and engineers believe it or not, if there was testing still allowed, they'd all be preparing their Daytona Road Course car now. Put a lot more emphasis in that baby.
Yeah,
I mean, that was that's something right there. I wonder, does anybody know what car Chase ran? Was that the same car that he's been winning all these races with?
No, it said brand new.
It was brand new, huh?
Penske cars brought the same car. Chase and Denny both brought new cars on Sunday.
There you go. Wow. Hey, let's take a quick break from this conversation. Tell you about a partner that we love here on the Dale Jr. Download.
Let's talk about FrameBridge. I've seen these ads on TV now. Makes me feel like a big shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we'll get the ad. I don't know why this happens, because I probably have seen FrameBridge ads on TV. Just didn't even really pick up on it. But when they're an ad on here, and then I go home and I'm like, I see all these ads.
So FrameBridge.
Mike, you have used FrameBridge, haven't you?
Of course I have, Dale.
What was your first thoughts when you opened the package?
God almighty, what was I feeling? I was feeling all kinds of euphoric.
How would you describe the frame visually?
It was it's just what I ordered, Dale. Exactly what it was. Fast shipping. Everything was perfect. I'd do it again, in fact. I'll tell you something. It holds a picture better than any frame I've ever seen.
FrameBridge is super easy and affordable to frame some of your favorite things without ever leaving the house. Art prints, posters, photos, any of that stuff on your phone that you like. You want to give a thoughtful gift to someone, in just minutes you could turn a photo from your phone into one of the best gifts ever. Did you just go to framebridge.com? Or
it's exactly where I went.
Did you upload your photo?
Of course I did.
Yeah. Did you preview your items online in dozens of frame styles?
I had the option to preview, but I had so much confidence in it, I didn't even bother.
Did you check out the gallery wall layouts they have?
I didn't, but I will next time.
Yeah. Did you choose your favorite of those? And did you get free recommendations maybe from their talented designers?
No, I just gave them the one I wanted.
Because they have talented designers.
I don't know.
Give
of course
you some recommendations.
Right, but if I had used them, I would have wanted to hire them and, create our own frame business. So I just, went with the default.
Well, the experts at FrameBridge will customize your item and deliver your finished piece straight to you or anyone on your list. Did you get it straight to you or someone else?
I mean, I don't want to go anywhere else.
It could have been a gift.
Yeah, no, I don't gift people.
Well, your handcrafted personalized gift from FrameBridge only starts at $39, Mike.
Wait a second.
Did you know that all your shipping was free too? I bet you didn't even know. Did you know, Mike, that our listeners, which you would fall under that umbrella, they get 15% off their first order at framebridge.com?
Well, I just had to use the discount code.
Dale Jr.
That's what I said. Right. Yeah. Dale Jr.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, I'm telling you, the experience was perfect.
What did you get framed? A photo?
Yeah.
Of what?
My kids.
Well, Mike, you're a big
yes, Dale.
You're a big football fan.
I am. Where's that going? I got a football framed, of course. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, what? I'll let you finish the question.
If you wanted to get like a jersey,
right?
It's not just photos. FrameBridge makes it easy to frame a jersey or even a ticket. Amy's familiar with FrameBridge, so we get a lot of. Actually, me and Amy are redoing this wall in the house. Mm-hmm. That was all pictures of Dad. And we're going to leave one up of him, but now we're going to incorporate our own family into this. And so we're sending a bunch of stuff to FrameBridge now and getting some of that back to be able to do this.
Are you going to use the discount code and put your name in it?
I will not.
Yeah, that's a hard thing.
Amy has her own account and will do this.
Oh, Amy will use the discount code.
Yeah, she may.
But that's not forcing you to have to use
let her
your
know
own name.
I need to tell her about it. So you can get started today framing your photos, football jerseys, tickets, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you can send some